Today we consider why the silver shorts can't possibly win. Major issues lie ahead, so let's dive on in. Now, this channel provides global macro insights and champions the importance of sound money in a world gone crazy, so please do consider subscribing. So the key points we'll run through today include the current silver demand and supply situation. We'll also look at the future demand growth that we can expect over coming years and what that means for the likely surplus or deficit situation when it comes to physical silver. So let's take a look. Now, we already know it's an extraordinarily tight physical silver market. In my last video, I broke down the market balance based on the 2019 silver supply and the 2020 investment demand. Now, I deliberately use conservative figures here to err on the side of caution and give the benefit of the doubt to the silver shorts. Now, this led to around a 15,000 ounce market daily balance. And so what do we know we can actually expect? Well, I think it's fair to say that we can expect at least a 16% increase in 2021 investment demand over that which has been attained in 2020. Now, remember, we had a 15,000 ounce market daily balance, so multiplying 215.8 million ounces by 1.16 gives us 250.3 million ounces per annum in terms of the annual investment demand for silver. Now, this is an additional daily demand of 94,520 ounces, and this would give rise to a daily deficit of 79,520 ounces. But what's important to remember is that supply is likely to be impaired, and I do not anticipate that the actual mining production will be as high as that which was seen in 2019. So we're using generous figures here. And so let's look ahead at future supply and what we can anticipate to actually take place there. Well, what we can see in the Silver Institute figures here is that mining production has actually fallen for the last 5 years in a row. It peaked in 2015 and then subsequently fell to 836.5 million ounces by 2019. There's the potential for further disruption, not just this year, but of course looking ahead to next winter as well. And remember what it said in the In Gold We Trust report, that 4 out of 5 silver miners will not automatically seek to increase silver mining if the price increases. And that is because that 70% of silver supply comes as a byproduct of mining other metals. And so what about the demand side as we look ahead? Well, we can anticipate strong auto demand, then the solar photovoltaic sector, then there's the 5G connectivity and Internet of Things element, as well as that wildcard investment demand. And so as we break this down, auto demand is a really substantial element here. Combustion engine vehicles use around 15 to 28 grams of silver, but electric vehicles need 25 to 50 grams of silver, according to the Silver Institute. Now, auto demand is expected to rise from 60 million to 90 million ounces per annum by 2025. So that's an additional 30 million ounces per year. And so I've based these figures on this article from the Silver Institute. But there's also emerging technologies which are of course going to drive silver demand, foremost of which is of course solar and photovoltaic. Now, it's certainly possible that some efficiencies are already being made, and that is helping to reduce the amount of silver consumption per panel. Yet increased output of solar production is likely to keep demand strong at around 100 million ounces per annum. And then there's 5G, semiconductors, cabling, and that Internet of Things element, as Klaus refers to it as. The current sector demand is around 7.5 million ounces per annum, but this is expected to rise to 16 million ounces per annum by 2025. But what's fascinating here is that this demand is anticipated to almost double to 30 million ounces per annum by 2030. And then the absolute wild card is investment demand. So in 2018 to 2019, there was a 12% increase. 2019 to 2020, a 16% increase. 2020 to 2021, assume a further 16% increase as we've done earlier. Well, that gives us 250.3 million ounces. And so overall, it means that the silver demand figures in 2025 may look something like this, where we've got auto demand at an additional 30 million ounces per annum. We've got largely constant solar demand at around 100 million ounces per annum, but you can certainly justify a heavier weighting there perhaps. 5G related activities, an additional 7.5 million ounces per annum, and then investment demand. How strong will investment demand be at that stage? It's difficult to tell, but let's use that 2019 figure. Now, while there might be some changes due to the more income sensitive elements of silver demand, such as jewellery and silverware coming down slightly, I don't think they're going to be that substantial. And so overall, what can we anticipate in terms of the actual demand supply balance for silver by 2025? Well, demand increase is anticipated to amount to 37.5 million ounces per annum. We'll assume no change in investment demand from 2020, and this gives rise to an additional daily demand of 102,739 ounces per day. The deficit here is then 87,739 ounces per day. This is absolutely huge. So if the market continues to move towards physical silver and more buying goes into physical silver, we continue to see shortages and buying of the PSLV, and so therefore it seems highly improbable that the silver price can continue to function at such a low level when you cannot obtain physical silver at $27.40 or whatever the current market price is. And just this week we've seen Elon Musk come out with his Bitcoin statement, but of course what was also announced there, as identified in this tweet, is that Tesla may invest a portion of cash in some alternative reserve assets, including digital assets, gold bullion, gold exchange traded funds in the future. But I absolutely guarantee that he is looking very, very carefully at the silver market, and I don't doubt that he has already made some significant commitment to silver within his reserve asset portfolio for Tesla. And so it is impossible for the silver price to be suppressed longer term if a continued movement towards physical silver continues to take place. And that is what remains absolutely key. What do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Do let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye bye.